You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
With your host, Beto.
And we all know that when the good Lord created man, he meant for him to look just like me.
And Alex Lewicki.
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
The podcast made by fans for wrestling fans.
One sweet, one sweet, one sweet, one sweet.
You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. All right. We are back with episode 11 of One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Beto Barragan, and with me is the Wrestling Wikipedia,
Alex Lewicki.
That's right. And so, how are you doing, man?
You know, a little under the weather. Nothing that a little cold medicine and maybe a shot of Jack Daniels won't clear up.
I got you covered. We got the Heinekens ready to go. We got the chill mode happening here at the undisclosed location in parts unknown.
The secret bunker.
The secret bunker of One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. But let's just go ahead, dive right into it. Not so much to cover today, but we're going to give you a little something. Let's just kick it off with the headlines. So, Bullet Club disbanding? 2 Bullet Clubs? What's going on?
Basically, what I'm thinking is happening, the Bullet Club loves Marvel. They've been reading the Marvel Civil War, and they're deciding, you know what? This is a fantastic way to book a Supercard of Honor. So why don't we just go after it and have our 2 main stars in Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes. Oh, I'm sorry, Cody, a.k.a. Iron Man against Captain America, the American Nightmare.
Yeah. I'm wearing the shirt right now as we speak. This is happening at Supercard of Honor 12. Kenny Omega versus Cody at the Uno Lakefront Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana, April 7th.
Yeah, WrestleMania weekend. So this is very interesting. They've been kind of building this up and kind of hinting at it for a while, the separation or breakup of the Bullet Club. So, yeah, in the past few episodes of Being the Elite, we've seen the there's flashbacks. There's more premonitions by Nick Jackson.
Right.
A big match happening. Honestly, I thought it was going to be something to do with the All In show, but you know, the All In show isn't happening until, is it August or September?
September 1st.
So September, yeah, obviously it's a little ways away. It's a little early to start booking it. So it does make sense that they're going to have to book this Supercard of Honor. What do you think about it, man?
I mean, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and toot my own horn, toot, because I called it. I'm just going to say that now.
You did.
I could see, I mean, there's so many variables. I'd love to see the match happen. I just think that these 2 guys are just really amazing workers. Kenny Omega coming hot off of the Alpha versus Omega match. Cody in his own right is actually, was former Ring of Honor champion. So this is shaping up to be something great. Now what they could do with this is a number of things. They could split the Bullet Club up and have the Elite versus the Bullet Club, whereas I'm thinking Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are the Elite, and Marty Scurll, Cody, and Hangman Page are in one group. Then you have to also consider the Guerrillas of Destiny. But in this case, I saw Tama Tonga's interview with New Japan Wrestling, and it was kind of like basically that he's going solo. He doesn't care about the fame, about the hype and all that stuff. He doesn't care. He's just like, I don't care about Kenny. I don't care about the Bucks. I don't care about Cody. And I don't care about being the Elite. I'm Bullet Club. That's what I've been since day one. So I could give a crap about what you guys are doing, basically.
Yeah, and honestly, it's interesting because I don't think this is going to do anything about breaking up the Bullet Club.
Right.
Because not only is Bullet Club a New Japan trademarked, so from there you can't do anything about,
I mean, you could do like what the NWO did. You had the NWO Wolfpack, red and black and white. I mean, I don't see this being Bullet Club red and black. And
maybe.
I mean, you never know. That would be a cool shirt to sell.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, Matt and Nick Jackson.
But I'd like to see, I'm not sure. I think what might happen is after the match, there's maybe a coming together, and then they just reform. It's going to be interesting.
You could have the finger poke of doom, the infamous finger poke of doom happening.
That would be very interesting. I don't know how the crowd would react to it.
I mean, I think a lot of diehard wrestling fans would probably, it'd be 50-50 split. I think some people would love it just because it's a nod to it and just be kind of like, that's funny. I can't believe you guys did that. The other half would be they're totally ripped off Hogan and Nash and the NWO.
Well, I would be BS. I would be in the party of I paid money to come here and I'm getting this.
Oh yeah.
There's something to be said about keeping wrestling interesting and surprising. But there's also something to be said about making sure the fans go home happy.
That's true. And let me, speaking of fans going home happy, let me go ahead and just kind of give a quick rundown of who else is scheduled to appear.
Yes, please.
The Ring of Honor champion Dalton Castle, the Young Bucks, Kota Ibushi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Really? Tanahashi's going. Wow.
So Tanahashi's scheduled to appear. So, I mean, you've got quite a bit of some stories here. I mean, with everybody involved here who's scheduled to appear.
And also, you figure there's probably going to be several independent wrestlers just floating around that arena.
Oh, yeah.
Because you figure anytime WrestleMania happens, they run countless shows. Kaiju Big Battle, PWG is probably going to be down there, Progress. So you'll have any number. There might be a surprise.
Yeah,
there really might be a surprise during the whole final battle. Oh, I'm sorry, not final battle, the Supercard of Honor.
Yeah, I mean, let's just see what happens with this event. I mean, we'll definitely keep you guys posted as we get more information coming in. But right now, this is what Supercard of Honor 12 is going to look like with I don't know if this is going to be the main event. How could it not be?
I think unless there's going to be a title defense.
Oh, there has to be.
Even then, does a title defense supersede
the
possible? Yeah, exactly. What's going to sell tickets?
You're looking at Alpha versus Omega. I mean, at Wrestle Kingdom, this past Wrestle Kingdom. So, I mean, it's basically the same thing, I think.
Let me ask you this. Is this match exciting you?
Yeah. To me, I'm indifferent about it. I'll tell you why. Is because I want to know where they're going with this. I want to know, like, how this all plays out with the rest of the Bullet Club. Are we going to get the Elite versus the Bullet Club? Is Cody going to lead one brand and Kenny's going to lead the other? Does Kota Ibushi become involved in some way, shape, or form? Does he become a member of the Elite or Bullet Club, whoever decides to take on that moniker? I mean, there's so many possibilities. I mean, even looking at the Being the Elite episode that they had, I don't want to say it was the last one, but the one before.
Okay.
There's a scene in there where they kind of do something where Kenny's doing the slow walk to a hotel room, and it's the Young Bucks room, and Kota Ibushi comes up, and they both go into the room. So they are alluding to the fact that they've discussed something.
Well, to be fair, for those that don't know, Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega were a tag team at one point before Kenny Omega decided to go off as a single competitor. So there's obviously some history with those two gentlemen, and it's going to be interesting where they tie everything up because if anything, I'm more not confused, but I'm more intrigued about where they're going to go storyline because they still have that all-in show to have to book.
Yeah, you've got to put butts in the seats, and I mean, I don't think this is the end for the Bullet Club as far as where they're going. I don't think it's over, which we will actually discuss that later on in the show. But I think there are some things to look out for.
Absolutely.
So as far as a competition in the works. NXT Takeover in New Orleans. We actually have Andrade Cien Almas. I finally said it right.
Knocked it out of the park.
I knocked it out the park. Versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship.
So what I found out, there is a gentleman that was originally supposed to be in Aleister Black's position.
Right.
Excuse me because I didn't do my research about the gentleman's name. I can see him. He's a big brooding man, and I'll get his name in a minute. But what happened was this gentleman was scheduled to be Cien Almas' opponent in New Orleans, but he's had to take several weeks off. The latest I heard is that there's some type of non-wrestling related illness that's going on that he had to take some time off to go back home. No one's really seen him at the Performance Center. No one's really seen him at anywhere. So latest I heard is that he was slated to be the opponent for Cien Almas for the championship.
I'm actually looking it up right now who that guy was. Let's see. Lars Sullivan.
That's
was
the one.
The name.
Yes. So I am high on this guy.
I like his work. I think he's just a brawler. He's a bad dude, man.
He looks almost like if you wanted to book him as the son of George the Animal Steel, you could probably do it.
I could see that. I can actually see that. But no word has been said as to why he hasn't been around really. Apparently the last time he wrestled was at an NXT television taping January 4th. And the last update on Twitter from him was February 4th, stating Lars Sullivan is the man.
Okay. Well,
I sounded so cheesy saying that.
Yeah. But you know what? I've seen this guy wrestle, and I think it's Aleister Black that I'm surprised that they chose him over Aleister Black in the first place.
Well, the thing was they had a fatal 4-way match or something, and he won the match, I think. Or was it Johnny Gargano? I'm not sure. But apparently it was Johnny Gargano or Lars Sullivan who had won the match, and that's what was basically going on.
Well, regardless, honestly, I don't know if I want to see Aleister Black win the championship.
Really?
I would rather have him just get called up. But here's the problem. With Aleister Black, you get called up. What do you do with him? Do you put him in the main card in SmackDown? Do you put him... Where do you put him? Because I feel like he's going to be another Baron Corbin. You bring him up.
No, bro. No. They're pushing him way too hard for him to just be a Baron Corbin. I know that Baron Corbin was also pushed, but this dude he's got a lot of talent. Hey, man, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm sorry for Baron Corbin fans, but he's a lot more talented than Baron Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
I mean, realistically, like if this dude, this guy has to win the NXT championship.
But think of it this way. You look at how hot Cien Almas is going right now.
Right.
Do you see him getting called up?
Yeah.
He's been in NXT for a good minute.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, normally what I've from what I've seen is the guy that's usually been around for a while gets called up.
But then why isn't Johnny Gargano?
Johnny Gargano's just getting his run though.
Yeah.
He's just become Johnny Wrestling. So you kind of have to let him like become Johnny Wrestling for a while.
See, my whole issue with NXT is there's something that's going on between NXT and the WWE. You know, the NXT essentially is its own universe.
Right.
Where you get guys that are put over because the fans that are in NXT start to go, this guy needs to get pushed. This is our guy. And that is largely in part of Triple H.
I can see that.
But you put him up in the main roster. Hell, look at Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, they fizzle out. Well, the thing is like NXT, let's just put it in perspective. If NXT was on television, you'd have a lot more fans. You'd have a lot more people. You'd have a lot more eyes on that product. And the transition becomes so much easier. The problem with NXT is not the talent. It's not the writers. It's the accessibility of NXT. If you are a WWE fan, like a diehard WWE fan, or just a fan of wrestling, and you want that additional content, you're gonna buy the network.
Yeah, you'll search it out.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll look for it. Some people may not watch NXT because they want to watch, Ride Along, or they want to watch the top 10 moments of Monday Night Raw that happened last week.
Yeah,
that's what they're more interested in. But I think once NXT gets the momentum and the television time, you're going to have a lot more eyes on that product, and the transition is going to be a lot smoother for these guys and girls that go over to the main roster.
I would like to see NXT get a television deal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to throw this back for y'all that do remember it.
Yeah.
Put them in a Shotgun Saturday Night situation.
Oh, dude. See, I love that idea. I loved the fact that I remember being like a kid, maybe high school, maybe middle school. And I remember when WCW was around, you had wrestling almost every single day of the week. Like, I remember, and then check this out. Listen to this schedule. Monday Night Raw / Monday Night Nitro. Okay. Thursday Night Thunder. Friday Night SmackDown.
That's right. It was on Friday.
It was on Fridays. Shotgun Saturday Night in the evening.
And
in the mornings, WCW used to have a show.
Okay, so obviously I'm not from Texas, so
Yeah.
It was
Did you guys get it?
Yeah. But the thing is, it showed up on the afternoon. It was the one that they were out of Orlando, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the one that it was like 2 hours. You'd see.
It was the blue ring with the WCW and the crosshair.
It's where Impact is being shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we got that around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So
we had it in the mornings.
Oh, that was so much. We had WWF in the mornings, the Superstars.
Okay, yeah, y'all had okay. So there was Sunday Night Heat as well.
When did Velocity come on?
Velocity came on after Sunday Night Heat.
Dude, do you remember there was a show that WWF had Saturday mornings that you could call in? Livewire?
Oh, yeah.
With Todd Pettingale?
Well, didn't they do that in didn't like Matt Hardy call in on Lita or something like that?
Oh, I thought this was like in the late 90s, early.
Okay, it might have been. You're right. You could be right. We'll fact check that later.
But you're right. Wrestling is hotter now than it was back then, because as of right now, you look, Monday Nitro, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT, Thursday is kind of your off night unless you want to watch Impact.
Yeah, that's true.
Friday night is something. You can find something.
I think
on
Ring of
Fridays.
Honor comes on Saturday nights on CW.
And for the hardcores, Saturday you can watch Lucha Azteca.
Oh, that's right.
Which has been really cool lately. I've been lucky enough to just flip past it. And you see some decent matches.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to get high quality, but there's some. You can see
there's some
good
cool
matches.
stuff happening in Mexico.
Yeah,
They've always put on something great. I remember being a kid, and they would show that in the mornings. So I would always watch Saturday mornings while my grandmother was cleaning. I'd be watching wrestling. So it's a nice little throwback. But I think we're getting off topic because we're in the headlines here. But it was a nice trip down memory lane.
What the hell?
It was fun. But hey, do you have anything else going on with the headlines?
I do, actually.
What's up?
So UFC is planning this year in June, I want to say, on a UFC event in Chicago.
Okay.
CM Punk tweeted it out with kind of interested emoji eyes.
My eyebrows just went up too. So
you figure it this way: he fights in June.
Oh yeah.
If he loses,
are you alluding to maybe
there's an all-in show coming in September that he could easily get ready for in about 3 months?
I mean, he's already going to be in shape.
He's already going to be in Chicago too.
Well, why not? Doesn't he live outside of Chicago now?
He lives in Chicago.
He lives in Chicago now? Okay.
Him and AJ Lee live in Chicago with their dog.
Well, then, you know what? I know CM Punk's listening. So, sir, I think you should make your way I think you should just go all in. That's what I think. You like that?
That's pretty fantastic. That's pretty fantastic.
I can cut a promo, too. I could drop a pipe bomb if I need to.
Other than that, I will say for those of you with the WWE Network, there is a match tonight on 205 Live between one Hideo Itami and Roderick Strong. Now, if you've ever seen their matches, you know how hard-hitting they are. Roderick Strong, I would love to see up in the main roster at one point. Honestly, I'd rather see a Roderick Strong versus Aleister Black for a title.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
But, one day, we'll see it. But, yeah,
We'll get there.
I for those that want to see a good match, I predict this to be a very good match.
Who do you got on that match?
Roderick Strong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? I never even asked you. Who do you have in Cody versus Kenny? Since we're going to wrap up the headlines here.
Kenny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think he needs to get his revenge on Cody after that crossroads on him.
My whole thing is you need to keep both are very good businessmen.
Oh yeah,
Both will do the job for each other. They come on, folks. We know wrestling's not real.
Yeah,
And they'll do what they have to do to make ticket sales.
yeah.
But for Ring of Honor,
It's not fake. It's predetermined, Alex.
that's a better way to put it.
There you go.
But in order for Ring of Honor to continue to make Kenny Omega happy, I think it's in their general interest to keep him on top.
I can see that. What about Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black? Who do you
See,
got?
this is where it gets interesting. I don't think they dropped the title yet.
No,
I think SummerSlam.
that'd be a good time to do it.
Because right now, I think Cien Almas is right in that sweet spot of being a champion.
Oh, he's hot. He's hot right now.
That he's untouchable.
Yeah.
And I think Aleister Black, he can stay down in the roster for a little bit. But yeah, I think Cien Almas, but a very good match.
Heck yeah, man. Well, what do you want to do? You want to call it right now?
I think those are the headlines, my man.
Those are the headlines. We'll be right back right after this.
If you're interested in San Antonio's nightlife or just got out of work and want to knock a few back with some friends, check out El Luchador located at 622 Roosevelt in Southtown. El Luchador is a wrestling-themed bar with a neighborhood bar feel. They've got a friendly staff and offer great drink specials. They also host a variety of events such as Loteria Night, Trivia Night, and live music. Be sure to add them on Facebook at Luchador Bar SA. El Luchador, located at 622 Roosevelt in Southtown.
This is Jared Davis, author of To Be the Man comic, and you're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks, Jared, of To Be the Man comic. We're going to hear from Jared in just a little bit, but we want to go ahead and talk about our next segment, Put Over or Bury. And then in this subject of Put Over or Bury, we're going to talk Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. We have 20 seconds apiece to speak our minds, and we're never going to talk about it ever again. Okay, in this case, we probably will, but let's go
We
ahead
won't
and
speak
start.
about it until
It
next
happens?
episode.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we will. So, Alex, you want to go ahead and start it off? We're going to give you 20 seconds to speak your piece. Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. Put over or bury, starting now.
I'm putting this over. I think at this point, we just need to let the inevitable happen, let him gain the title, and let him peter out. I still don't think the fans are going to accept him as a champion, but that's about it. He's going to be the champion, come we like it or not.
Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty good, strong words. I feel like the guy from 8 Mile. Remember when he's like, okay.
I've never seen 8 Mile.
You've never seen 8 Mile?
I like Eminem. I'm not going to go out of my way to
dude.
watch a 2-hour movie about him.
Dude, just watch it, bro. Just watch it.
And one day.
You get yourself a little Heineken, bro. You get yourself a little Heineken, dog. You just chill out, mellow out after a long day of work. You know what I'm saying,
muley.
dog? You know, you just check it out, dog. It'll give you a whole different perspective, dog. He's a tough guy, dude. All right. I'm good. That was my Joey Diaz impression.
One day we'll do a whole episode as Joey Diaz.
Oh, dude, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with that. I have no qualms.
My voice will be wrecked.
Oh God, mine already is. Okay, so I got 20 seconds though.
Let me get you started.
Okay,
Ready and put over a Barry.
I'm going to bury Roman Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania. And the reason being is that, look, it's a failed experiment. We've already gone through all this. He's had opportunity time and time again. The guy can't even cut a decent promo. I mean, we're looking at a new age. New age is now Balor in the main event.
Time.
Okay.
Wow. New Age Balor.
Hey, man, I'm just going to say, like, I know he's been in the business for a while, but look, my 20 seconds are up. We're done talking about it. But we want to talk about something even way cooler than Roman Reigns being in the main event of WrestleMania.
Hit me with it.
Dude, we got to speak with Jared Davis of To Be the Man comic. Really cool guy, very interesting comic. If you're into the occult, if you're into pro wrestling before the territories disbanded, the 1980s Reagan era, this is for you. Listen to this awesome interview that we had with the creator of To Be the Man comic, Jared Davis. All right, we're here at One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. We are joined by Jared Davis from To Be the Man comics. Jared, how's it going, man?
Going good. Thank you for having me, good brothers.
Awesome, man. So we read the comic, really enjoyed it. So obviously you guys are huge wrestling fans. So what are you, just before we get into the wrestling talk, because we can talk forever about wrestling till like 3 a.m. for us.
I could too.
Oh man, it's kind of one of those passions, you know. You can talk. I think I spoke with a guy at a bus stop about pro wrestling till like 4 a.m. one time. There was some beer involved. It was a good time.
On the subway about it all the time. I've got all my Loot Crate WWE pins on my bag and rock the Shinsuke Nakamura beanie in the winter, so people see it and they always want to talk wrestling.
Oh, that's awesome. Which by the way, he did win the Royal Rumble, so that was pretty rad.
I was thrilled.
Oh, we were marking out over here. We had some barbecue here at the house, actually.
Non-vinegar based
barbecue, and it was great. We had a good time.
Yeah, I thought overall it was a good show. I was really surprised to see, the marks on the internet bitching and moaning, because I thought it was one of the better Rumble matches in quite some time. And the women's match was pretty sloppy, but it was still fun, and I was glad to see Asuka win. So
yeah,
I enjoyed the show.
It was kind of like, we were just talking about that, saying that, we were actually emotionally invested into the match.
Yeah, I was as well.
Like, it did carry the attention. So just wanted to kind of get our listeners to know a little bit about you. So what is your background as far as starting up comics, or did you have any experience working on graphic novels or comics in the past?
I had none whatsoever. This is my very first graphic novel project. The illustrator, Josh Taylor, he is actually the illustrator of a military-based comic, which is, a complete 180 from what we're doing with To Be the Man. Right. He's been working on that for several years. It's called Black Powder, Red Earth, and it's very successful. It's like the number one independently produced military comic in the world. So he's been in the game for several years, and he's an illustrator, but that's his day job. He's a professional illustrator, and we went to art school together in Brooklyn. So we met late 90s and have been friends for almost 20 years.
So I gotta ask, looking at it, obviously there's heavy influence on Ric Flair. There's also another character. I've been trying to figure out who it's based off of. My best guess, because this dude's name is Frank, I'm thinking it's Bruiser Brody.
Yeah. Well, Frank is kind of Lex Luger, Ric Flair, and Grimes is definitely a Brody guy.
Yeah, because I read he's coming from back from Japan. I'm not going to give too much away, because obviously, guys, I want you to read this. This is an awesome read. If you are into, as the comic book guy likes to say, into comic books, this is definitely for you. It's amazingly illustrated, drawn with the mind of a smart wrestling fan, with little nuances here and there, even down to the needle at the in the locker room, which a subtle nod, but still.
Yeah, I mean, we're huge fans, and I've had this kind of story about a couple of wrestlers doing crazy shit on the road for years, and Josh he's just such an amazing illustrator. I absolutely worship his work, and I've always wanted to kind of ride his coattails. So like I said, we've been buddies for 20 years. We went to college together, and we're watching Monday Night Raw when in the heyday, in the Attitude Era. Yeah. And I kind of started developing this story, and then we were kind of talking about, incorporating the kind of a Ash versus Evil Dead flair to it, getting the zombies and demons and stuff like that, which that's gonna be much more developed in subsequent chapters. You kind of get a taste at the end of chapter 1, but you could see where it's going.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. Albeit, no trees have sexually assaulted a lady. It's pretty close to an Evil Dead that we can get to.
Not yet.
Not yet. Good point. Hey, I gotta give you guys props. Looking at this, the comic itself is awesome, but what came after the comic itself with what looks to be almost a nod to Pro Wrestling Illustrated from the 80s and 90s is just awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was something that we didn't really, that kind of came about very organically. We're totally self-produced. This is just Josh and myself, and this is a labor of love for us. So when we were looking into how we were going to publish, we decided to go with sort of the Amazon on demand printing, and we needed to pad it out some to be able to have a book that was big enough to be perfect bound. So we started tossing around ideas, and then I ordered some of the old I used to collect them when I was a kid. I mean, I had WWE magazine, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. There were several of them that I had back in the day, and so we started kicking around the idea to kind of further develop the world, because we are kind of world building here. We wanted to do something unique, and we thought it would just be hilarious to have some of those mock kind of pages in the back where we could add to the story a little bit and do some funny stuff and throw a nod to those old school magazines.
So are you guys planning on keeping this kind of the same formula, have kind of like a newsletter towards the end of the comic?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that people have responded really well to, and we thought it was hilarious. We're marked for ourselves, so I think you'll definitely be seeing those in each chapter. And we thought, maybe at some point in between, it's going to be a 13 chapter story, and then we'll collect all 13 chapters into graphic novel format at the end. But we may maybe around after chapter 6 do just a full issue that's nothing but magazine pages.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
So how do you guys go about the writing process for obviously for chapter 1? I mean, do you guys lay down the artwork first, or is the artwork made to fit the story?
No, I wrote the whole story out, and then I write panel by panel scripts that I hand off to Josh. I give him I give him total creative freedom. So, I write, panel 1, this happens. Panel 2, this happens. Page 2, full page spread, that kind of stuff. So it's very detailed, but then I give him free reign to just go for it. He's the master. So I let him kind of develop the layouts. I take a look at the layouts, and it's not really a matter of approval, because anything he does, I'm going to be like, awesome, that's awesome. So yeah, I hand off the script to him, and he runs with it.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed the chapter. I mean, it was pretty much like reminiscent of everything from my childhood, especially because I used to collect comic books, and just seeing like the ads and things like that was just a plus for me. That just, I mean, put it over. It was just definitely, I put this comic over anything right now that I'm reading. So
we really appreciate it.
For sure, man, for sure.
So going forward, if people are looking to get these chapters, how often can they expect to
get them?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably we're like every other month. So this one came out on the Rumble. Then we're thinking next one will come out around Mania. Like I said, Josh is a full-time artist on another series, and that one, I think it's much more labor intensive in terms of they're doing monthly issues. They're working on a video game. They're in talks for animated series and stuff like that. So he basically kind of he's got the scripts and it takes him. I mean, he really bangs out the artwork. He's well underway on chapter 2 already. So it's really just a matter of him having the time to do it. I mean, I'm paying him to do the illustrations out of pocket, and he's doing it for way cheaper than he should. So it's as he's able to work on them, then it's getting the high-res PDF ready, getting it print ready, getting back the proofs from the printer, handling any color issues or issues with copy and margins and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, this is my first endeavor, so a lot of that stuff is new for me, and I'm kind of learning as I go. So I think people should probably, at least for now, expect every other month, every 2 or 3 months to get a new chapter. And it also depends on funding. If we're able to get some money and sales start spiking and we get some people that are joining our Patreon page and sort of supporting us monetarily, then we'd love to ramp it up and bang them out even quicker. But for now, I would say people can expect every 2 to 3 months, but they should not worry that they are coming.
Awesome. That's super awesome. And hearing like the passion that you have behind this, because this is obviously your baby. I mean, when we do this podcast, it's really a labor of love as well. I mean, we put a lot into this, so we can definitely relate to that. Where can we find this Patreon page, and where else can we reach you guys?
We've got website, we've got Patreon, we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The website is tobethemancomic.com. The Patreon page is patreon.com/tobethemancomic. Instagram and Twitter are both at tobethemancomic, and Facebook is facebook.com/tobethemancomic. So, people can go over to the website, see check out reviews of the book. They can, see updates. They can see our Instagram feed and that kind of stuff. I'm doing all the social media and the promotion myself. We're going to be doing a lot more events over the next few months. We're going to be getting a table at an upcoming MCW, Maryland Championship Wrestling show, and selling books and hopefully some merchandise and shirts and stickers and stuff like that at that show. Like I said, I'm going to the House of Glory show on Saturday of this week in the city, and kind of doing a promotion where I said I'm going to be in the front row wearing my NWO shirt. The first 5 people to give me a 2-suite get a free book. So we're trying to drive the audience as much as we can, and we're hoping people like what we're doing.
Man, the more I hear you talk, the more it just sounds like we're in parallel universes right now. We're kind of doing the same DIY thing. I'm sure Beto just told you that. But, looking at the characters here, were there any influences from, you say you grew up in North Carolina. Were there any influences on the characters from when you were growing up?
Well, I mean, I was a fan. I'm 37, so I've been a fan for 30 years.
Oh, dude, we're kind of in the same age bracket. I'm 30. I'm going to be 32. Beto's in his early 30s. Young, spry gentleman. So yeah, we're in the same age bracket, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been watching forever. When I was 7 years old, I was sick from school, and my dad rented WrestleMania for me, and it started there. And when I was young, he would take me to the Dorton Arena, which is like North Carolina fairgrounds. We'd go see the NWA shows. I was a Ric Flair fan since the first time I ever saw him. And yeah, I mean, I used to run home on Sunday mornings at noon to catch Superstars at noon. And I love that era. And the great, the thing about WWE Network is there's so much great content on there now. There's Mid-South and AWA and all the Texas promotions.
And that's the
I
fun
love
stuff.
that stuff. I absolutely love those. Just the aesthetic, the kitschiness, the hilarity, whether it's intentional or not. I mean, you watch those shows and they're just so hilarious. And those old school guys, I mean, they were, it was a whole different game than it is now. It's so, and I love the product now, but it's so much more, it's overly produced, and it at times it can be very cartoonish. But you watch that old stuff, and I mean, some of that stuff is just so violent, and those guys lived it. You believe that they are their character. So there's definitely that influence in the book. I mean, it takes place in the 80s. We kind of never, we don't necessarily put a year on it, but you can kind of say mid to late 80s. And we've got the kind of the down south promotion and the up north promotion, the sort of the NWA versus WWF thing going on. So all of that is a huge influence on my storytelling.
Yeah, man, I can definitely see that. I do have a question. So you're from North Carolina. How big is the Ric Flair mania there?
Oh, it's huge.
Because
it's absolutely. I mean,
I remember watching. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
He's everywhere. He's in, and I guess not so much as maybe in the 90s. In the 90s, he was in commercials. He had, the Gold's Gyms, and I think he had a restaurant. I know he partners with like the Carolina Panthers now and is on their videos at the stadium. It is Flair country.
Yeah, and I remember somebody sent me a commercial of him. It was I think it was the Carolina Lotto. He had a scratch off.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
He's on all kinds of stuff.
So can we expect any merchandise eventually from the Fabulous Collection? Because I was all about that shirt. I love that logo.
Definitely. Merch is coming. We've really put everything into getting this first chapter out. But merch is gonna be coming, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully by the time chapter 2 comes out, we'll have some shirts available. We'll have stickers and stuff like that. And we're also doing, we're doing physical rewards for our patrons on Patreon. So there are different levels, for $5, you can see the pages as Josh is creating them. You can see his pencils as he is working on the pages. I'm going to be putting them up there. So if you really want to follow the day-to-day, you can do that there. For $10, you can get the pages as they're created and a physical copy of the book when they come out. Then at the higher tier levels, we're doing kind of not necessarily a loot crate, but like a loot pack that'll have stickers and magnets. We want to do all different kinds of coffee mugs and all that kind of stuff. And there will definitely be T-shirts of not only Fabulous Frank and the Gargoyle, but we want to do some like mock events T-shirts. We want to do some T-shirts for the promotions in the book. So all that stuff is coming.
Yeah, that sounds completely amazing. Well, look, man, we're gonna wrap this up. But if there's anything else that you want to tell the One Sweet Wrestling Podcast family, this is your time, man. The floor is yours.
No, I mean, we really appreciate the promotion. We're so glad that the response has been really overwhelmingly positive so far. We appreciate your time. Follow us on social media. Our website's www.tobethemancomic.com. Our Patreon page is patreon.com/tobethemancomic, and then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram @tobethemancomic.
Awesome. Thank you, Jared Davis from To Be the Man Comic. We appreciate your time, brother.
We want to thank Jared from To Be the Man Comic. If you want to support this good brother, make sure you check him out on patreon.com/tobethemancomic or go to www.tobethemancomic.com.
Hey, man, did I tell you that I'm getting a tattoo?
What?
Yeah, I'm going to get a new tattoo.
Of what?
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you right after the break. If you're looking for a unique, clean, and comfortable shop to get your next tattoo, check out the artists at Galaveras Tattoos. They're located downtown San Antonio at 628 South St. Mary's, just north of Cesar Chavez. Galaveras is home to some of the best, most experienced tattoo artists in San Antonio, and the only shop in town with 4 female artists on staff. Established in 2005, Galaveras Tattoos offers a variety of styles and the highest quality tattoos with the price that won't hurt your budget. So stop by for a consultation or give them a call to schedule one. It's easy. 210-227-7673. That's 210-227-7673. Galaveras Tattoos, San Antonio's favorite tattoo shop.
Hey moviegoers, this is Ryan D, Akinola Ryan 680. This is Alamo City Movie Talk. Meet my crew.
I'm Mike at Polaris Mike. We do movie reviews.
Juan at Cloud X Stripe, and we do trailer reactions.
I'm Juan the Cook Crane, and we do everything movie related. And once again, you're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
Thank you so much, guys. If you haven't heard them by now, Alamo City Movie Talk, really great group of guys. They do movie reviews on all your favorite movies, past, present, future. Yeah, you knew where I was going with that, Alex.
Forever.
Okay, but yeah, check those guys out. Alamo City Movie Talk, really great group of guys. They're big supporters of our podcast. We're big supporters of theirs. So be sure to check them out. Also, be sure to check out Heavy Metal Wrestling. If you're into hard-hitting action of pro wrestling, which of course you are, and heavy metal,
which I'm a fan of
course,
and I know you're a fan of
course. So definitely check them out. Where are they going to be at, Alex?
All right, guys, if you want to see the full card that is going to be happening this Friday, go on Instagram and look them up on Heavy Metal Wrestling SA. If you don't have Instagram, you can go online to www.heavymetalwrestling.com to get the full card and location. Make sure you go out there. Dylan Dunbar is a friend of ours. He's a good brother. Make sure you go out there and support him.
Awesome, man. Hey, very nice announcer voice there. I dig that.
Hey, I've been listening to Ian Riccaboni a lot.
Nice. Yeah, guys, so be sure to check that out, Heavy Metal Wrestling. Also, we have a really big announcement. We've gotten some...
Whoa. Hold on. You didn't tell me about your tattoo.
Oh, I didn't. So, getting a new tattoo sometime in April. It would mark the 20th year of Jerry Garcia, a awesome tattoo artist who works out of Galaveras Tattoos, one of our sponsors.
Yep.
It's going to be his 20 years of tattooing, bro. He's going to... We've got an idea cooking right now, and it's actually going to be a luchador mask.
Nice.
But it's going to have...
Whoa, don't tell everybody your secret.
Oh, dude.
Don't tell everybody your secret.
Okay. That's the best part.
We'll reveal it when the time is right. You don't want to have some mark decide, hey, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Let me go get it before Beto does.
Oh, there you go. See, you're smart. What would I do without you, bro? Probably walk into traffic or something.
Or
maybe.
Put myself over, whatever.
But major announcement.
Hit me with it.
We've received lots of positive feedback from everyone that was there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this podcast, you are the first to know that we, One Sweet Wrestling Podcast, are going to be at El Luchador. When? April 5th on a Thursday for Wrestle Trivia 2.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Thursday before WrestleMania. Another chance for you to redeem yourself if you didn't do as well as you thought you could have. If you decided my friends would have really liked this, but for some reason their old lady wouldn't let them out of the house. For some reason their job wouldn't let them off. You make sure you get them off in enough time. That sounded strange.
Well, you've got plenty of time to get down there. So that's the good thing about it. You've got plenty of time to make your plans, get your dog fed, make sure that the babies are staying with mom that night, because we're going to have a good time doing some wrestling trivia. Get your thinking caps on.
I'm going to let you in on a secret, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen. Whoever was there and you thought it was too easy this time, guess what? It's going to get ramped up a little bit. I got some questions in mind that are going to hurt your brain. So for all of y'all that thought you were too smart over there and got almost every question right, I'm going to guarantee this one's going to be a lot tougher for you.
Oh, man, it's coming for you.
The
It's
gauntlet
coming.
has been laid down,
That
ladies
is
and gentlemen.
right. The Kraken has been released.
Ooh.
You like that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah, man. That's what's up.
But look, I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Oh, dude, I'm hyped. I am ready. We actually have some cool prizes coming up as well. We're going to announce those prizes as time goes by, as we get ready for Wrestle Trivia 2. Just be sure to listen to the podcast. Check us out on Instagram at One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
On Instagram.
And at Facebook at One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. You definitely want to check that out. And I actually just want to give a quick shout out to a local band. I am a huge proponent of and fan of local music. Being a musician myself, I tend to kind of look and see what's happening out there in local music scene. It still holds a very special place in my heart. If you're into MXPX, NoFX, and just some earmuffs, kick-ass punk rock, check out Sketchy Trench. Their music can be found on Spotify. We're going to go ahead and play their song Skirt for you guys as our playout song. They've got quite a busy schedule ahead of them, even though they just came back from a tour. They're really putting in the work. And hey, as a fellow musician, I can definitely appreciate that. Check them out Saturday at Frank's DIY here in San Antonio, Texas. And you can also see when they'll be in your area on Facebook at facebook.com/Sketchy Trench. Alex, there's nothing left to say, but
we're out.